Good evening. It's my understanding you've reached a verdict? Will you hand the verdict form to the court deputy, please?
The narrative I choose to write, based on the facts that we know.
Right.
Whether it's true or not.
But it's what we have.
You don't want me to surmise what happened, do you? Just based on evidence, testimony? You want me to tell your truth, or do you want to tell your truth? Because if I tell your truth, it's probably going to be first degree, premeditated, and I'll make you probably look like an animal. I don't think that's fair, but you're not leaving me a lot of choice. Okay?
And then what happens?
You face the music.
Which is?
You face the music. You face a jury of your peers.
State of Florida versus David Tronnes, case number 2020 CF 12472 AL, in the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant.
Hi, I'm not alone. I appreciate the very kind things that you said.
I'm missing what you're saying because of your suit that you're moving, but I'm kind of missing it.
I'm sorry, it's probably I appreciate the things that you've said and the genuine consideration and thoughtfulness behind it. I don't know what else I can say right now.
The truth.
I feel like everything that I have said, and I know you don't want to hear this, you told me over and over, the things that you call discrepancies still ring true and are, if not perfectly accurate, directionally correct.
If not perfectly accurate, directionally correct?
You're talking about things like evaporation rate and how wet something was. If I miscalculated how wet.
Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. So it says we all, dated at Orlando County, Orange County, Florida, on the 18th day of October, 2023, signed by the foreperson.
We're so close, she would usually come down. She would usually do that in my when she was free.
I find it very odd, we've all been in relationships in this room, that your last communication with her via on the phone was the day before. The evening of the day before when she tells you that Jim's on his way. I find it very odd that at no time at all on Tuesday that you all communicate via phone. That you're gone on the walk for over an hour, that you're at the park for over an hour and a half, or an hour 45 minutes, 2 hours. And there's zero communication between the two of you the entire day until you say you found her just after 3. Not a phone call, not a text. Nothing. My assumption is you don't call or text someone you know isn't going to read it. Can't read it.
It's all going to show in a pattern. And when the pattern breaks on Tuesday,
it's going to look very, very odd. They communicate every single day. But on Tuesday, her communication stops on her phone at this time, and oddly, so does his.
David, what we're telling you with all of this is it's all going to come out in the wash. It's all going to come out. We're trying to afford you the opportunity to say what happened.
And don't.
We know everything but that right now. Mm-hmm. We know that something happened between you and her. She's dead. She's murdered. Intentionally or otherwise. She's dead. The evidence on her is it is. The evidence in the apartment is what it is. We can't rewind. I know you wish that you could rewind today. Believe me, I've had those days. Probably not to this degree, but I've had those days. But you can't. You have to move forward. And the best course of action for you is to tell the truth. What happened? This BS about 3 o'clock and tubs, and it's crap. It's crap. You know it's crap. It's a crappy story. Yeah, you don't know what happened when you were gone. I get it. But you know what happened when you were there. And that's what counts. Don't make it worse on yourself. You have to carry on. You still have your whole life to live. You still have your whole life. Where do you want it to go? How do you want it to proceed? You can't change the facts from today. You can't. The only thing you can do is improve on them, and that's by telling the truth. I know it seems like crazy, like holy shit. If I tell them what happened today, it's not going to be great. Who wants to admit that something happened and somebody died? Nobody wants to do that. I get it. But maintaining this crappy story is going to make it look like you don't give a crap about your dead wife. Think about where you want to be in the future. You still have a future. Now's your opportunity to make it the best it can be.
Do you want to elaborate on that? What do you mean? What do you mean I still have a future?
You still have a future. You still have a life to live. You're still breathing. You're a young man. You still have the rest of your life to live. I can't tell you what's going to happen to you. I don't know because you're not telling the truth. I can tell you that she's the lead detective in this. And if you maintain this BS, she has one choice to go with.
The narrative I choose to write, based on the facts that we know,
Right.
whether it's true or not.
But it's what we have.
You don't want me to surmise what happened, do you? Just based on evidence, testimony? You want me to tell your truth, or do you want to tell your truth? Because if I tell your truth, it's probably going to be first degree, premeditated, and I'll make you probably look like an animal. I don't think that's fair, but you're not leaving me a lot of choice. Okay?
And then what happens?
You face the music.
Which is?
You face the music. You face a jury of your peers. You gotta understand, we're in control of the narrative here. You and I and Detective McClellan are in control of the narrative here. We're gonna know the truth when we hear it. David, we've been doing this a really long time. Okay? We're gonna know the truth when we hear it. It's gonna match what we already know. We've been extremely patient with you.
You're not going to be able to just BS your way out of this. You're not going to be able to maintain this and think it's going to go away. It is not going to go away. The hardest point for you to deal with is right here and now. Right here and now. This is the pinnacle. From here, you choose. I know it doesn't seem real, and they probably think, well, why would she be telling me the truth? Why would she be sitting here to try and help me? Because you're not the kind of person that we've both dealt with in the past. You're not that person. I could be home sleeping. I got a kid at home. No, don't be sorry, because this is my job. And I put forth what I think people deserve. And I think you deserve that. And I can't imagine how hard it is to sit there in your chair right now. But I know you have the ability. I know you're a strong enough man to step up when you made a mistake.
appreciate the very kind things that you said.
I'm missing what you're saying because of your suit that you're moving, but I'm kind of missing it. It's really loud, but I missed what you said because you're talking so low.
I'm sorry, it's probably. I appreciate the things that you've said and the genuine consideration and thoughtfulness behind it. I don't know what else I can say right now.
The truth.
I feel like everything that I have said, and I know you don't want to hear this, you told me over and over, the things that you call discrepancies still ring true and are, if not perfectly accurate, directionally correct.
If not perfectly accurate, directionally correct?
Do you get you're talking about things like evaporation rate and how wet something was. If I miscalculated how wet.
Directionally correct? I don't know if I know what that means.
It's just doesn't mean anything in this context.
Okay.
And you,
There only seems to be one thing, and I don't have that for you. I don't have the information that you're looking for. I'm so sorry.
you don't have the truth? David, you killed this woman.
I cooperated so I could give you all the information and all.
You cooperated because you thought
all
that
the
your
facts.
language would overwhelm us, and you thought you could pull the wool over our
I
eyes.
don't think there was any effort to do that.
All these tangents, all this flowery,
Answers
fancy
to
language,
answers to
all the
questions that you
details.
asked. Two questions that you asked. That's
Many.
I
You know
misinterpreted.
how many interviews I've done in 20 years? Hundreds.
Okay.
Okay? I know the truth when I hear it. Hundreds. Especially from someone who should be acting one way and is acting another. Okay?
Is acting what?
You know, you fake cried for about 7 or 8 hours today. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one. Not one. Not on scene with the officers. Not in this room. You have fake cried over this woman's death since we made contact with you. For hours. And every single time you fake cried, we wrote it down. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one.
Nope.
Okay? We've been extremely patient with you for a very long time. I am losing my patience at this point because there is not a lick of remorse for what you did to this woman. Not even a little bit. Okay? I'm really starting to believe you wanted her dead. And I'm really starting to believe you planned it. David, because not a lick of remorse. Not even a little. You sat there for the last 2 hours and stared at her picture and you haven't cried. Not one tear. You're staring at a woman you're telling us you're in love with and you've done nothing the whole time. But close your eyes, huddle up, and protect your own ass. And that's all you've done. You've not shed one tear on that picture. Not one. You claim to love that woman? I would be under the fucking table in a ball if I was in love with that woman and she was dead. Y'all would be inconsolable. I wouldn't even be able to utter the words or talk to detectives for 6 or 7 hours like you have. Okay? You've not shed one tear on that picture. And you've been staring at it since she presented it to you. 2 hours ago. Over 2 hours ago. You are not remorseful for what happened to her. You could give 2 shits about what happened to Shanti tonight. Okay? I told you she was murdered. Murdered. Someone took her life from her. And there's nothing. You can't even fake it. That's how much you could give a shit. You can't even fake it. I know you think your theatrics and your maybe some drama that you've had in your past was good. It was terrible. The officers on scene didn't believe you, and neither do we. You fucked up. That's the end of it. You screwed up. You made a mistake, whatever it is. I'm starting to believe it wasn't a mistake. I'm starting to believe that David wanted this chick dead. For whatever you might gain, for control, creative control of the house, so you can direct the build. I don't know what your motivation would be, but I know you stand to benefit. I know that the show that's going to happen is now yours. That all the decisions that are made are now yours. The $250,000 you tend to inherit, you can build the house of your dreams. Maybe never work again. I know there's motivation. Is it the accurate motivation? Maybe not. Is it what I'm going to paint you as? Probably. Because there's no more arguments over the house. You have complete creative control. You get the TV show. You get the $250,000. You get it all.
I don't get anything.
And you get to sleep where you want to sleep. You don't have to sleep in the garage with the dogs.
Are you kidding? I don't get anything.
You don't have to deal with her son.
How do you not?
The house is in a trust in your name. You never even filled out the notary paperwork to get her name on it. It's in your name. You understand? You get everything. You don't have to put up with her. You don't have to. She doesn't have to. You don't have to listen to it anymore. You don't have to sleep in the garage with the dogs anymore.
On a couch.
On a couch. You don't have to deal with it. She's finally out of your life, just like you wanted.
Your Lexus back?
Get your car back. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to listen to her telling you how she's working her ass off and you're not doing shit.
And clean the pool when you want. Not mow the grass.
For 3 years she's been bitching about it. You know what Jackson said? If Dave would just listen to me, that's what his mom says. If Dave would just listen to me, this would get done. He even mimics her when she says your name. And he does it perfectly, just like Shanti did it. If he just listened to me. But you don't listen, apparently. She rules the roost. She's a pain in the ass. She wants it done her way.
She wants flat ceilings and flat floors.
Okay? She probably set the bill back by God knows how many months because she didn't listen to you.
And bitched about having to live in one room for 18 months.
She bitched about it. Her son told us she bitched about it. His father told us she bitched about it. And she blames you. She has blamed you the entire time. And after 2 or 3 years of hearing her bitch, or 2 years or a year and a half, however long you've been in that house, of hearing her complain every effing day about that house, and blaming you, belittling you, forcing you to sleep with the dogs in the garage,
Talk about being in the dog
treating you like the hired help. Take out the trash, clean the pool. She treats you like a landscaper, like the pool boy. She doesn't treat you equal. Probably because she's bringing in the money.
Or is it something else?
And when we're done talking to her friends and going through her phone and talking to her family, and they tell us all about your relationship.
And video.
And we prove your story is full of holes. And we prove when she died. And we prove where you were. Because honestly, after today, you've had ample opportunity, David, ample opportunity to tell us the truth. Okay? No one's going to accuse us of not giving you ample opportunity to tell the truth. Because you've had it. You've had a lot of it. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit and solve this case. And I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny. Okay? Because every time you smirk and smile, okay, that's going to be seen as well.
And what do you think? What happened? What happened between you and her today that caused it to end like this?
State of Florida versus Dave Tronnes. Case number 2020 C.12472 AL, the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in Fort Orange County, Florida. Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. So it says we all, dated at Orlando County, Orange County, Florida, on the 18th day of October 2023, signed by the foreperson.
Deciding the state or the defense wish to have the jury polled.
We do, Your Honor.
Juror number 4.
Society has relied upon juries for consideration. The court will adjudicate you guilty, will sentence you to life imprisonment with credit 1877 days.
It's probably going to be first degree, premeditated. And I'll make you probably look like an animal. I don't think that's fair, but you're not leaving me a lot of choice. Okay?
And then what happens?
You face the music.
Which is?
You face the music. face a jury of your peers.